Hey folks, another new tool day. Gone out and bought myself a Ozito brushless 2-in-1 sander polisher because I have some rails on the stairs that I need to sand, and it's just slow going with the hand sander, and the gap between the two rails is too small to get a Orbi in. So I've been able to do the top and sides with an Orbi, but the gap between the two rails is a bit small, so I thought I'd get one of these guys so I can run these 7-inch pads on it and get in there and make the job a whole lot quicker. So just quickly unboxed it here. That's how it comes out of the box. You get the tool, the D handle, the straight handle, foam applicator, the hook loop pad, 3 sanding pads, 60, 80 and 120 grit, owner's manual, foam applicator pad, and a polishing bonnet, which I may use down the track, but I'm not going to be doing anytime soon. So you do have to do a little bit of assembly to install the hook loop pad. There's a button on the top here. You press that in, which locks the spindle from turning. And you just make sure you're not cross-threading it. Good spin on. Hold the button down, lock it in tight, and that's that done. Handles, you've got 2 options. You can either have the straight handle, more like an angle grinder. Essentially that's what they are, an oversized angle grinder. And then I'll spin that. The handle, so there is a sort of angled cutout there, which that has the matching piece on it. So you have to make sure you go in the right direction with that one when you're putting it on. It's a little bit tight fit, which is good. And there you go, that locks it in. So that's not, doesn't appear to be angle adjustable like on some, but that's all right. If you're buffing or polishing, that's just fine. The 2 bolts and an Allen key are in that packet there. Don't know what handle. I'll probably start with this handle for what I'm doing. There. And then stick on a pad. I'll go there. It does have the side, the coarseness written on the back. Yeah, so obviously, as with all sandpaper, the lower the number, the more coarse it is. And I'll start with the 80, I think, for what I'm doing. Control on the top, you've got a on-off switch, and then your plus-minus buttons, which is a little bit bright out, so it's a bit hard to see the little screen there, which then gives you a speed reading. I'll try and get some better shots of that later on when I'm using it. Battery just clips into the bottom, as with all Ozito 18-volt stuff. So I've got 2 batteries that I've just charged up because I'm going to be giving it a crack right now, and I might get some footage of what I'm doing. That's something I just discovered with this. When you first turn it on, brings up the zeros there, and then so yeah, you turn it on and it doesn't start straight away, which is good. And then you just press your 0, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Sorry if that was a little bit loud. And so go all the way down to 5 and then off. So it's good that you can turn your switch on and then press your buttons to control the speed. The numbers seem to sort of go in. I made up. It would be nice if you sort of had a finer control, but that's all right. It'll do the job for what it was. I mean, it's 169, I think it was, paid for it. But yeah, it's a means to an end, really. Just trying to get stuff done without having to hand sand. So it's gonna prove that. But the numbers, the speed setting's a little bit like tennis, where it has some odd jumps in there. All right, let's give it a crack. All right, so these are the rails that I've sanded. Already done the top and the sides, and I've done in there with a hand sander as well. Just one of those guys, fits in there nicely. The orbital wouldn't fit in the gap, so this I'll at least be able to get sort of halfway through with the machine and then come at it from the other side to properly do in there. And more so the undersides. The top was easy enough to do because I could sort of put my weight on the hand sander and do it, but some of the other rails are a bit coarser from where they've been machine cut, so this will get in and chew them up a bit better. Alright, put my mask on and we'll give it a go. Just swing it round to one of the other ones that's a bit, fingers on the screen, a bit coarser. It does have the speeds, recommended speeds on the top here, so I'm going to start out at about 15, I think. So it's making pretty light work of that. Taking off all the machine cuts there, nice and quick. So that's going to be a whole lot better than sanding by hand. It does get dusty though. I mean, that's a couple of seconds work, but it's to be expected with a sander. That's why I've got the dust mask on. But other than that, yeah, should be pretty good. I did end up cracking that up to, I think, 20. Started at 15 and went up to 25. So still could go up one more from there, but it just wasn't liking that low. Well, it was going to be slow going on that low speed, but I think I'll just run it at the faster speed and quickly chew it all off. I'll do some more and then give you some thoughts afterwards. Okay, so after about 15 minutes of sanding, I have used, can't really see that, but I'm down to the last bar. This was freshly charged before I started. So how's it go? Pretty good. If I had to do a lot of area, I would go for a cord over the cordless. The cordless is good in the respect that you can take it anywhere, and it's easy to sort of get to and not have to run leads and that sort of thing. But if I was going to be doing a much bigger area, then either have a swag of these batteries, or because I mean that's the 4 amp hour that I've used there, either go the bigger batteries or have multiple batteries. I've got a second battery fully charged up because I've still got a bit more to do. But yeah, if you did have a lot to do, like doing the whole side of a house or something, then you definitely go for a corded version. Power wise, it's pretty good. I only had to have the 80 grit on there. Yeah, 80 grit on there. With a coarser grit, it would have chewed out more material quicker. But then you have to go back over it and smooth it out with a finer paper anyway. And basically what I'm taking off there is an old stain or oil coating there that's all started to peel up. Probably left it a little bit too long between doing it. So from when I have used corded versions, they certainly have more grunt than what this one does. A few things to note if this is your first sort of go at doing anything like this. Make sure you wear a mask. The amount of dust that comes out is astounding. You do get a lot of dust spat up from these things because they do sand so much quicker than a little orbital that's only sort of doing small rotations and often not really doing full spins, whereas this just absolutely churns the dust out. Also, if you've never used an angle grinder before or not much, you do have to sort of make sure that you hold onto it tight. If you try and do a really flat angle, it will sort of kick around a lot. If you just tip it ever so slightly and use the nose of the tail, it will still try and pull to the side a little bit, but it won't buck around so much. So if you are new to using these sorts of tools, certainly, you know, if you've got an old scrap bit of timber that you can use just to get your bearings with it, do that. It'll save you chewing up and possibly damaging your good work. But for a basic beginner tool, it does the job. Yeah, if you're going to be doing big areas, definitely go corded over the cordless, unless you've got a heap of batteries there to use. But other than that, I'm happy with my purchase. If I was doing more, I would definitely go the corded. Ozito do a corded version. I think it's about $40 cheaper than this, and they do have more power. Like, they will spin up much faster. Can be a little bit harder to hold on to as well if you're not used to it. I did just want to add into the video, I also did some sanding with this Mech Pro dual action polisher. So it's actually a car polisher from Repco, which is an auto parts store in Australia. It's Mech Pro, sort of their in-house cheap brand, I guess is one way to put it. So design, it's got a 5-inch pad on it. It is the dual action, so it does the spinning rotation, plus then does that offset elliptical pattern. So probably end up killing it with dust because it's not designed for sanding, it's only designed for polishing. But I just stuck a straight 5-inch sanding pad on it because it is just a Velcro pad on it, so it uses the same pads as what the little palm sanders do, but it takes off material a lot quicker than the palm sanders do. The palm sanders they will spin as well as doing their orbital action, but I found that if you sort of load them up, they more just sort of do that orbital action without actually spinning the pad. So this does both, no matter how much you load it up. So yeah, I'm not too worried about killing this. I got it on special pretty cheap when I was selling a car that needed a good polish. So I've only used it a couple of times for that, and I'm not going to use it a great deal for this, but for the longer jobs that I've got upstairs on the veranda where I've got to sand all of these railings back, I'll probably use it for the areas that I can get to easily, and then use that Ozito that I bought in the gaps here where you can only get in sort of a hand width in there. So it's too big to get in. Just a quick update. After I finished the video, did a bit more, got another 3 minutes out of that 4 amp hour battery. So in total, that was about 18 minutes of pretty much constant run time out of that 4 amp hour battery, generally at full speed. So the other thing I just wanted to mention was with that sort of soft start where you turn it on and it goes straight to 0. I can't do it because this battery's flat and I've got to go get the other one. Both good and bad with that, I think. It's a little bit annoying having to fire it up from 0 every time you turn the switch on, rather than just having it kick into full power. At the same time, I think there would be applications for polishing and that sort of thing where that's definitely a plus, where you sort of get that soft start. So it just depends on what you're doing, but it's both good and bad on that. So I think that's all. I changed to the 60 grit for doing the next railing that I was doing, and it's certainly chewing through the material a lot quicker. I will probably buzz over it with the hand sander, I think, just to smooth it out just a whisker, but it certainly spits out some dust on that. So yeah, make sure you have a mask on and eye protection as well. And I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt and a hat so that I don't get super filthy. But yeah, well, even my shirt's full of dust and that, so I'm going to need a good shower after all this. Thanks for watching. Another quick little add-on. Blowers definitely come in handy for cleaning up. I've got the little Rockwell workshop blower there, and then I've got the big Ozito blower there, which I've done a review on in another video of mine if you want to check that out. But yeah, definitely come in handy for cleaning up. The little workshop one's actually good for cleaning yourself off, getting most of the dust off before you go and traipse it through the house. And then the big one I've been using on the stairs and that. And now I'm going to go and clean off the neighbour's car because they've been downwind from me working here. So I'll go take the big guy across for doing that. Thanks.